Hey guys, what's going on? DBfanboy here, and welcome to another one of my weekly reviews for Dragon Ball Super. And today we're going to talk about Dragon Ball Super episode 123 titled Body and Soul Full Power Release Goku and Vegeta. Now, after following an amazing episode last week, it was going to be very hard for Super to keep that momentum going, but they still managed to deliver because episode 123 was a great episode. We got tons of action, we got to see what was going on with everyone in the tournament, not just Goku, Vegeta, and Jiren, and on top of that, we got to witness a brand new transformation. But even with all that being said, it still felt like a step down from last week's episode, which is weird because you would think that an episode where Vegeta gets a new transformation, it would be one of the best of the series for me. But it just wasn't, and I'll get into a couple reasons why I feel that is later on in the video. But right now I want to get to the rating. So if you're new to my reviews, it's a very simple rating system. It's just based on a scale of 1 to 7. And after following last week's 7-star review, I'm going to go ahead and give episode 123 6 stars. Now this episode definitely had the potential to be a 7-star episode, and on top of that, probably the best in the series so far. But they just fell short on a couple things, mainly that being bad animation. Now I get it, you can't have the top animators every single week, but you would think with the content that was going to be put into this week's episode that you would want to keep them around for at least one more. Cause I feel if it was animated as well as episode 122 was, then maybe it would have been enough for me to overlook the other thing that I felt that really held this episode back from being 7 stars, and that was the fact that they kind of downplayed Vegeta's new transformation to me. Like, they didn't show off any of the new capabilities, so I'm not even sure what this new transformation is, other than the fact that it can keep up with Goku in his Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken. I mean, this is kind of a big deal. This is something that they really should have put a lot of emphasis on, but no one really seemed to give a damn. Everyone was just like, oh wow, Vegeta got a new power-up, that's cool. No one was like mind blown or shitting their pants at like the raw awesomeness of it. Everyone was just kind of like, oh, wow, huh. And I mean, Goku didn't even acknowledge it. Goku didn't even look his way after he transformed. I mean, in all honesty, it kind of feels like a waste. Like, if you weren't gonna display any of this new power of what it's capable of doing, or if you're not even gonna have people acknowledge it and appreciate what it is, because this is not like an easy feat. This is obviously something that is like very hard to do if Goku hasn't even done it yet. Like, if you're gonna do all that, you might as well have just saved that transformation for another episode where you can actually put more emphasis on it, and you could have just ended up giving Vegeta just like some kind of ass pull power boost so that he could keep up with Goku right now. But anyways, if they would have done one of those two things differently, either had better animators, or if they would have put more emphasis on Vegeta's new transformation, I feel that any one of those two changes would have put this episode at one of like the top tier episodes to where people would have been debating if it was one of the best of the series so far. And don't get me wrong, just because I'm complaining about these couple little things, don't let that take away from how good the episode was, because it was a very good episode. Like I said earlier, I'm really glad that we got to not only see what was going down with Vegeta, Goku, and Jiren, but also we got a little sneak peek at what's happening with everyone else in the tournament as well. And the way that they transitioned between these fights was probably the coolest thing that I've seen in Super so far. It was just a very creative way for them to do it without just doing basic cutaways. And speaking of the other fights, I love what's going on between Frieza and Dispo right now. Like, their little banter they got going back and forth has been hilarious these past couple episodes. The fact that Frieza is just gonna blatantly disrespect him by pretending not to know that they're called the Pride Troopers and just calling them the whatever troopers, it's really great. And I'm not gonna lie, I was scared for a little bit because it looked like Dispo was just manhandling Frieza, but it's nice to see that Frieza is still a beast and that he's simply just toying around with Dispo before he really steps it up. But I don't know about that too, because based off of the previews for next week's episode, it kind of looks like things are getting a little sketchy. Dispo's got something up his sleeve that we don't know about yet, so it's going to be very interesting. But now let's move over to talk about what was going on with 17, Gohan, and Topo. Now, I love that Super was keeping it real, and they made sure to point out that 17 and Gohan have never fought together, so there's no reason that they should be able to coordinate and fight that well together. And I like that the writers are, keeping it very realistic, where we understand that Gohan is still new to this whole team leadership thing, that he's trying to be this master strategist and trying to figure out the best possible way for them to do things. And 17's like, look, dude, like that's not going to work. We got to keep it simple, stupid. I'm going to go do this. You wait for your opening. So it was just really cool to me that things just didn't go smoothly just for convenience for the writers, that they actually took the time to look into it and to be like, look, these guys have never fought before. We have to give them some kind of struggle when it comes to their teamwork. And speaking of 17, I just want to go ahead and apologize because I was wrong. I definitely thought this dude was getting eliminated this episode. Not that I want him to, because I have developed into an Android 17 fan since this tournament started. I really didn't care for him that much before in Dragon Ball Z, but now his new character is really cool and I like what they've done with him a lot. But enough about them. Let's go ahead and start talking about Goku, Vegeta, and Jiren and what was happening over there. There was a lot of cool stuff going on. I really love the new technique from Goku where he plants those little key mines everywhere. That was very creative and really cool to see that the writers are coming up with new stuff like this. I also love when Super does little things like the callback to Krillin's Destructo Disc technique that he tried against Goku when they were sparring before the tournament started. I think that's really cool that they go back and they pay attention to stuff like that so that we know that all those things that were happening before the tournament started, they served a purpose and that they were going to play a bigger role later on. But moving on from that, man, can we talk about Jiren? Because this dude is just a beast. I don't know how they're going to end up defeating this guy because he is just too overpowered. This dude has no weakness. It doesn't matter what kind of tricks they use. Nothing is ever going to be enough to take him down. Goku wants to try to put these little key mines everywhere. Jiren don't care. Jiren just walks right through them. He doesn't give a damn. This dude is a monster. We just got to see a small sample of his true power, and it was enough to make Goku just power down to his base form and just stand in shock and awe. Like, even the Zenos, they were Goku's #1 fanboys, and they were like, Goku who? It's all about Jiren right now. The little Zeno Jiren impression was probably the funniest thing that I've seen in the entire series. But like we saw, things are definitely going to be getting more interesting now that we have Goku going all out and we have Vegeta with his new form, and we have yet to see what that new form really is capable, like what kind of damage that new form is capable of doing. We've already seen how effective the teamwork is, so it's going to be very, very interesting from this point forward, seeing how the rest of their fight goes. But while we're on the subject of Vegeta's new form, there's a couple things I wanted to talk about before I wrap the video up. First is, just because he got this new form does not mean that he will not be achieving Ultra Instinct. I know I sound like a Vegeta fanboy, that I'm like, he's going to get it too. I'm not saying he's going to get it. I'm just saying the fact that he got this form does not cancel out, it doesn't make it a stamp saying, oh, he got this form, so it's impossible for him to also achieve Ultra Instinct. It does make it less likely, but it doesn't make it impossible for it to happen. And I'm only saying this because there are so many people out there who are like, haha, everyone thought Vegeta was going to get Ultra Instinct, but he's not. He's just getting this new Super Saiyan form. And it's like, no, that doesn't mean, one doesn't mean the other. We don't know what this form is, like I said earlier. For all we know, this form could just be the stepping stone to him achieving this Ultra Instinct. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that he's going to. I'm not saying he's not going to. I'm just saying that this new transformation does not cancel him out from being able to achieve Ultra Instinct. But the other thing that I want to talk about this new transformation is, am I the only one that found it weird that Kaba and his promise to resurrect them with the Super Dragon Balls, that is the sole inspiration for him achieving this new form? Like, I get that he has this Saiyan pride and that, you know, he already lost his race once before, and him losing it again is probably a very traumatic thing for his character, but it seemed like they were putting a lot of emphasis on him being a father again and him, you know, becoming more of a family man, that would have played a part in this. But it was just very strange to me that they didn't mention any of that they only basically made it seem like he was so upset about not keeping his promise to Kaba, not so much that his family is on the brink of not existing anymore. Like, I just feel like it could have been both. I'm not saying you couldn't also make it about the Kaba thing, but It was just very strange that they didn't also include the family thing, considering that it kind of felt like they were building a lot of that up before the tournament started, and that they kind of just abandoned all of it now that we're in the tournament. But who knows? Maybe it's just me. Maybe you guys didn't really see a problem with it. But that wraps up this review. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you guys feel that this was a 6-star rated episode, or do you guys feel that it should have been higher or lower? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up to show your support. And also make sure you subscribe if you are not already, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all future content. You guys can follow me on Twitter and like me on Facebook, where I'll be posting my AMVs that I don't want to post on YouTube to avoid copyright strikes. So if you are into animated music videos, I'm going to start doing those over there. I only have one up for now, but I'm working on 2 more at the moment. So as soon as they are up, I will be posting them on Facebook. So go ahead and check that out when you guys get a chance. But as for this video, that's it. Thank you guys so much again for watching, and I will catch you guys later.